What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Empire Music, empiremusic.com in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today, I'm going to highlight this beautiful Martin Custom Shop 0012 fret, with an Adirondack Spruce top and Guatemalan Rosewood back and sides. If you've been following us, we're one of only 20 custom shop expert dealers. We have access to the wood library at Martin. We have a wood locker where we hand select the most incredible tone woods and build incredible guitars. And man, we're really excited about this. This is a really low production number guitar. We're only doing a handful of these. Incredible sound. Again, it's a 0012 fret, Adirondack top, Guatemalan back and sides. Let's check it out. Ooh, these aren't gonna last long. This is unbelievable. Man, in May of 2025, Justin, Anthony, and I went to the Martin Custom Shop and digging through the wood vault, and we came across an incredible selection. I mean, I think I've used incredible already 3 times. It was such an unbelievable selection of Guatemalan rosewood. We love Central American rosewoods. And we have Honduran rosewood we do a lot with. It's unreal. And we found this Guatemalan and it was lights out. The trip basically stopped, and that became our mission for the trip. You can see all these guitars right at empiremusic.com. Remember, we always do a pro setup, dial every guitar into factory spec, make it the best playing experience possible. We love your trades. Hit the trade-in portal on the site, and we're always gonna get you the right guitar. We have just the most vast and curated selection of Martin guitars in the country. I genuinely believe that, and we have a great selection of custom guitars, standard guitars, Empire Spec guitars that bring the line to a complete full circle to let you make sure you get the right instrument for you. And you know, a lot went into these guitars because we went and hand selected wood, and then I went back to the factory after the wood was selected and I hand selected all the necks, neck blocks, and heel blocks. Weighed all of them so the guitars are really light. Hand selected the necks for color as well. Best sound transfer. And man, turned out 00 guitars have been incredibly popular lately. I always say I feel like I learned so much from all of you who reach out to us and ask questions about guitars and what they're after. At night when I'm doom scrolling Instagram reels and just flicking repeatedly, watching guitar player after guitar player, you just started to see this shift. And dreadnought guitars are always going to be, the heart of the acoustic guitar market. But just more and more small body guitars over the last few years have been showing up. I bought a few small body guitars like this 00. I actually bought a 00 Guatemalan from our Martin sales rep. When he came in, he had a custom prototype from the factory that I got before we did these. And the market is really absorbing these instruments, and you can feel why. Because when you do it right, the guitar still sounds huge. It's not going to be a flat picking, dreadnought guitar that you're going to play in a bluegrass circle, but this guitar sounds massive, and we did everything we could to pour our effort into this and our hearts into it and drag every inch of sound out of this guitar. So what do? Adirondack Spruce top, super powerful, super responsive, just incredibly reflective of the player. You know what I mean? It's just like super defined, gives you all that clarity, tons of headroom, sounds great light, which is important on a small guitar, sounds big when you play lightly because it's so responsive, tons of headroom, great. The Guatemalan is just kind of dumb. It's just, look at that. Like, holy smokes. It's one of the most exciting things that we get to do is you're flexing these woods. So Martin has all their wood and they have it sorted by, you know, custom shop and by the type of wood it is and the origin. And we go through and we feel each one. We're looking for the most responsive when we tap it, when we flex it, what's most lively. You don't want a stiff piece of wood that you tap and just sounds dead. You want all that natural resonance. So we go through and obviously there's these beautiful pieces of wood. Beautiful is important and that gets us excited about it, but ultimately it has to be, the guitar has to be designed with a wood that we think reflects best for the goal of the instrument being a small body or a dreadnought. So we put that time in. But we didn't stop there on these. So we have an incredible top matched with a great back and sides. Of course, golden era bracing, but we did the hand carved bracing. So the master builders in the custom shop hand carved the braces for this guitar. They're not pre-cut, and that's allowing this instrument to reach its maximum potential in the bracing. The golden era bracing is a deeper scalloped, resonant bracing pattern that has a lot of bottom end to it, a lot of response, which is phenomenal, of course. Then we went with the authentic thickness top. This is a sneaky place because with the authentic thickness tops, you're getting a slightly thinner top. So if you've seen the custom expert guitars or the custom shop triple 28s and D28s and triple 18s and D18s, those pre-war guitars are built to the spec of the 1930s instruments, which are the most sought after acoustic guitars in the world. This has the same thickness. To do the same thickness top, you have to nail the bracing and you have to use the highest grade spruce. There's not any in between on that. That's just the way it is. So by going with that authentic thickness top, the hand carved bracing, you have this incredible instrument. Guatemalan is really, really interesting because it's got a ton of boom to it, super reflective of a player. It's got a woodiness to it, a beautiful top end sparkle that isn't too brash, lots of sustain. It just sounds amazing. And then you put it into a 12 fret design. You're sliding the bridge back. Body meets at the 12th fret. You're going to have extra thumpiness from that bridge being moved back. Additionally, with a double O, it's going to give you this super comfortable feel that is amazing for like songwriter, fingerstyle, you know, guitar picker. Obviously, if you're looking for the loudest guitar, this isn't it. What's amazing about this instrument is at a low volume, lots of character. I am barely touching the guitar. That is stupid. I mean, it is unbelievable. But what's sneaky about it is you have that beauty, and you. Amazing. The character that's happening at a low volume is unreal, but then it has a sneaky ability to be pushed. You hear that snap and that woodiness. And that's, to me, the two extremes are where this guitar is it's beyond reproach. I think that's where it shows its really special power. When you're playing the guitar lightly and delicately, and it sounds just so full. And to have then that power come through and that chunk in the bottom end is just, it's next level. I mean, it's one of these instruments that you hold and it's like, holy smokes. So you just feel the skeleton of the guitar, the bracing just being so dialed and it creating all this energy with no work, no matter how hard you're playing, is probably, to me, the most, when I feel a guitar that is moving in your hand with a light attack, regardless of its shape, to me, that's the most attractive feature of the guitar, because at that point, what we know is we can make it do most anything, right? You know, it's just like, it's going to reflect us because it's generating energy with a light attack. So if you're a very delicate player and you're nuanced, great, you're going to have this beautiful, responsive guitar in your hand. But if you want to be a little heavier handed with this and play with others, but still keep all the definition and the sweetness of the guitar, you get this pure woodiness out of it. I mean, that is special. It's just like a really incredible, the short scale adds bass to it and adds an ease of play to it. The slotted headstock gives it a certain resonance. Handpicking the necks, the neck blocks, and the heel blocks are things that, I mean, we probably did about 70 Guatemalan guitars total across dreadnoughts, triple O's, OMs, double O's. You know, just, you know, a lot or a little. I mean, in the grand scheme of what Martin builds a year, it's not a ton of guitars, but it's a lot for the custom shop. But I weighed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of necks and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of heel blocks and neck blocks to get the most sound transfer, the lightest weight. And weight is a tricky thing because we get all these weight questions and people are like, hey, what's a weight? What's a weight? It doesn't, the weight being light doesn't mean it's going to sound good. That's, you know, that doesn't say anything. A neck, you don't know where the weight is. The weight could be in the hardware. The weight could be in a part of the guitar. It's not as important. You know what I mean? It's just like if you said, hey, the heel block on this guitar weighed a little bit more, that doesn't really concern me as much as if you had a heavier neck block, right? Or, you know, so it's just like, that's why you have to be careful with the weight, because that doesn't always say performance. In this instance, though, it's an elevated part of the build for sure, because each part that was hyper critical to sound transfer was selected for its resonance, its lightweight, and then for the neck for the color match, which is important too. You don't want like a pinkish mahogany on the back of this. It would look goofy. We wouldn't do that. You know, it's like at this price point, we want to make sure that the guitars are as elegant looking as they are sounding. You know, it's just part and parcel. Obviously, ebony fingerboard and bridge, the Grover tuners on the slotted headstock, the Golden Era modern neck shape, which is very comfortable. It's what you're finding on all the new standard series, 00, 00, 28s, all that good stuff. Authentic fingerboard thickness, just everything about this guitar. The reduced heel, the way the nut is cut on the headstock line is all true vintage spec, which is really, really cool. 1 3/4 inch nut width, just a beautiful, beautiful instrument. If you check out empiremusic.com, you can see our entire selection of Martin custom shop guitars. We're glad to walk you through the process of the Honduran differences versus Guatemalan. I'm sure once all these Guatemalans come in, Justin will do some ABs for us on the differences between the two. I think you'll find that each have a really great characteristic to the one and the other. You know, I mean, the Honduran has incredible note separation and the most unbelievable sustain. Guatemalan's got a little bit more thump to it. And you just got to find the spot that suits you. But anybody gets to own one of these guitars has an instrument that we played for 100 years. And we really love building instruments and get really attached to the idea of building these multi-generational guitars. So it's the 00 12 fret, the Adirondack Spruce top, Guatemalan back and sides, Guatemalan Rosewood. It's hand-carved Golden Era Bracing. Thickness of the top is authentic thickness. Those are all Empire specs on this instrument. We have a massive selection. Check out empiremusic.com. Chat with us on the site. Hit the trade-in portal. We'll get you a great Martin guitar. Thanks so much for watching.